Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Mission Impossible in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every single movie in the Mission Impossible franchise. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That over there is Kevin Coelho. And rounding out the group, Nick Scarpino.
Strap into your seats, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a whole lot of nothing that's about to come.
We got a movie to talk about with you.
Nick,
that definitely happens.
Are you copying like notes from some sort of...
Oh no, I take notes on the plot.
You take notes.
And this movie was so
God.
insane. And like
it kept going.
That I literally paused it
long.
at moments to write diatribes about it. Yeah. So I'll skip through these, but just copying and pasting my plot summary into a Word document. It is
I like that I'm just
5 pages. 6 pages.
Jesus Christ.
One of the notes is just bye-bye plane.
I received a tweet that said, Andy, you thought Too Fast, Too Furious was the worst movie you've ever reviewed on In Review. No. This might beat it. And I thought, no way in hell.
I'm with you, man.
And
do you think Too Fast, Too Furious was the worst movie we've had to watch?
I don't think it's close.
I would rather watch Too Fast, Too Furious 4 more times.
This is worse than any X-Men movie. This is worse than Mission Impossible 1. This is worse than Thor: Dark World.
No.
This is...
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh,
yeah, I agree with that.
Easily. But no, the reason that I don't think it's as bad as Too Fast, Too Furious is because I was laughing a lot. And that brought a lot of levity. Where during Too Fast, I was
it's
like...
It's not a comedy, though. You're not supposed to be laughing.
Exactly.
Wait, so... where does X-Men 3 rank in these movies you're talking about?
I would gladly.
I don't know.
Gladly watch X-Men 3 again.
I would also gladly watch
the entire
X-Men 3.
X-Men series again.
Yeah.
Instead of having to watch this movie.
They take about the same amount of time.
I would watch Spider-Man 3 again gladly. No, well, actually, now I'm thinking, I'm like, there was the much.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about Mission Impossible 2, released on March 24th, 2000. Oh, I didn't do the rigmarole for the show. Real quick. You can get the show every Tuesday live, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, or later on YouTube or roosterteeth.com. If you want to get the show ad-free, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like Patreon producer David Meintel did. Thank you very much for helping make the show happen. And if you prefer audio versions, that's cool too, because you just go to your favorite podcast service, search for Kind of Funny Reviews, and it'll be there for you. Now back to the show.
Thanks, David.
Mission Impossible 2, released on March 24th, 2000, 4 years after the first movie. Directed by John Woo, famous Hong Kong action movie director, known for A Better Tomorrow, The Killer, Hard Boiled, and Red Cliff.
You ever seen Hard Boiled?
I have not.
All the Hard Boiled starring Chow Yun-fat is a bad fucking movie, like badass fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like there is sorry, I want to say bad. Like bad is going to be used in its traditional term. Talking about this movie.
I think you did this last week too. Maybe we should stop using bad in that way.
Well, I just, it's just the whole Leaving Neverland came out bad. I'm not conflicted about it. Hard Boiled has one of the best scenes.
Because I feel like I'm not conflicted. Michael Jackson, a bad person.
Just about using the word bad. Now bad means bad again. Back when I grew up, bad when you use that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
What he means,
good.
Mrs. Scarpino that's cool.
I used to say bad all the time.
Bad is terrible, right? I'll tell you what, real quick. Hard Boiled, great first scene where they fight in a restaurant, and I think it's either cocaine or flour, can't remember which one, explodes, and it gets all over everyone. At the very, very last second, when Chow Yun-fat dives over something and fools the guy and puts a gun to his head, and the camera cuts to him and he pulls a trigger, he's covered in white flour and just red blood splashed on his face. Ooh. It's fucking dope. John Woo is a great director. Terrible choice for this film.
So then his Hollywood movies include Hard Target. Is that a sequel to Hard Boiled?
No, but that is no. Hard Target is a classic Jean-Claude Van Damme film where he has a mullet. And his name is Chance Boudreaux. And when asked, why did your mom name you Chance? He goes, why is your name Chance? He goes, because my mama took one.
I love that.
Because my mama took one.
Oh, God. That reminds me of a line in this movie that we'll talk about later. And then he also did Face Off, which I've never seen.
Woo! We doing the Face Off cinematic universe?
Yeah.
Face Off's one of those movies that could only be made in that place and time in history. And it is a movie about John Travolta.
It is up there with the Con Airs of the world.
Switching faces so that John Travolta's character...
Castor Troy.
So Nick Cage's character, I think Nick Cage was a good... No, Nick Cage is a bad guy.
Yeah.
John Travolta, a good guy. They swap so that he can go to jail and get the goods on some plot that he's doing. But then Castor Troy figures it out. And he's stuck in jail as this guy.
The jail,
he leaves jail with mid-surgery and his face is all fucked up and it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
The jail scene where they had the magnets, right? Where they could stop everyone.
Yeah, it was kind of cool
really
concept.
Cool concept.
A budget of $125 million and a box office of $546.4 million. Bringing in that moolah.
30 million was
Cash
for Limp
money,
Bizkit.
baby. Oh my God, yeah. It
I
was, dude.
fucking
I
God.
forgot, like the Blu-ray trailer or like Blu-ray menu started, and like I hear the rock version, I was like, wow, this dates this so much. But then when the movie starts and you hear the more acoustic-y sounding, like I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, it's just like a clean.
I looked at Gia and I'm like, oh my God,
Wes
it's Limp
Borland.
fucking Biscuit.
Oh yeah.
So
Probably
good,
the
man.
only point in this movie where I went, oh, an enjoyable thing. An enjoyable thing just happened.
Limp
Wait.
Bizkit's the best part of the movie.
You didn't love the rock climbing scene in the start? That was pretty rad.
It was pretty good.
music was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you space out.
The music in this entire fucking movie. All right, hold on. Runtime of 2 hours and 3 fucking long ass minutes.
And you
I
feel
mean-
every minute. Somehow they made it so you could feel every minute twice.
Because it was all in slow mo.
Yeah.
Not only was it all in slow mo, it's 90% of this movie is Tom Cruise looking at Tandy Newton looking at Tom Cruise looking at Sean Ambrose, Sean
And then a
Ambrose
weird
looking at Tandy
slow-mo
Newton.
shot.
Like everyone's just like lustfully looking at each other, and they're all
It's
wearing
hot.
turtlenecks, and I don't understand it.
The best thing to say about this movie is that this movie is basically MacGruber, but not meant to be funny.
No.
Like it is
okay.
shot and acted and music and explosions and weird jumps and like it's MacGruber, but not ironic.
parody.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I don't do a lot of drugs. But I was like, I should watch this again high out of my fucking wits just to see if there's something else in there.
Slow-mo stutter every 5
Oh,
seconds.
my God.
Dude, talking about the looks, though, you're so right. Everyone's just constantly like looking off. Tom Cruise specifically, I feel like his only direction from John Woo was never look into the camera, but look right away from it. Very, very, very intently. And don't blink. And there's one scene where they like call attention to it where someone asked him, are you listening to me? And he's just, yeah. And it's like, yeah, no shit. What else would he be doing?
Yeah. He's in the scene with you.
He's in the scene. There's nothing else happening except him looking away. He's listening. He's listening. I've never seen someone listen that hard. In fact,
Hard listening. A lot of hard listening.
There was so many moments where Robin was playing Kingdom Hearts next to me, and I was watching with headphones, and I kept finding any reason to get up. She was like, watch the movie. I know you hate it. I was like, oh, this movie sucks so bad, dude. Like, this movie's horrible.
It was hard.
But it made me laugh really hard in a lot of moments with weird zoom-in shots.
Oh my God, the
where
kung
did
fu
that
zooms.
Where did this camera shot come from? And this is a totally different camera they're using. It doesn't look anything like the other one.
No, and it's so
The
bad.
motorcycle scene at the end where it's 80 seconds of just
Were they literally
and then
motorcycle
climax.
fight? Were they motorcycle fight each other at the end? It's completely
there
absurd.
were so many moments in this movie that like reminded me of the Too Fast, Too Furious type fucking like jumping onto the boat and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, this is so dumb in how epic they think that it is.
Yeah.
But it's just, it misses the
Like
mark.
it is. That's a perfect way of putting it. It is the most epic miss I have ever seen in my entire. Like even you bring up Fast and Furious 2. We were talking about that before we went on live. At least that movie like that the scene at the end where they do land on the fucking yacht, even though it's not that big of a yacht, is at least gratifying. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
like he's going for it, and Tyrese is there, and we're having fun. This has nothing. This has no. All of the action in this movie almost feels like they had to do it, and they just kind of figured it out when they show up. Like we get to that shootout scene where he has to go into the building for I have no idea why they let him break into the building, even though they're going to break into the building too. And they're shooting out. None of that matters at all. And even the actors are bored in the scene. He's just kind of blind firing around a corner, and then and my wife brought this
The
up.
white
She's like,
dove?
she was like, oh, there's a fucking white dove everywhere.
White dove, dude.
And my wife brought this up. She was like, why does he like her so much? They just met. He's like, I won't let him take you. And then blows up a wall and jumps out. I'm like,
It's
what are
fucking, I mean,
you doing?
there's two good reasons, and they let us know about them. Like, god damn, I have seen less boobs in porn before. Like, why were those shots so dramatic where the camera was like
On top of her.
On top of her.
It's
I'm like,
so. And there's some.
Also, speaking of that, I'm not trying to get on some fucking high horse, like, you know, feminist agenda shit.
The shit
me
they
ask
say
you a
about
question.
women in this movie is
Not
fucking
just
ridiculous.
the shit they say. Let me ask you a question. Does a single woman have a line in this movie besides
No,
Tandy.
I don't think so.
They don't. There's salsa dancers in the beginning, and then there's no other woman even on screen.
Wait,
Yeah,
whoa.
that's a good
There's
point.
the woman singing in the cool rock climbing scene.
I guess you're right. There is the random ass fucking horror.
Not only that, but
comes
then-
up throughout the movie.
There's
What
just
is
like
this song choice?
I don't know. This movie it's just one of those like, man, I was a good hour into this.
They
and I was
missed
like,
everything.
I was like, I don't even want to fucking pause it.
They missed
I don't
everything.
want
That
to
is
know.
so fucking right. I have never seen a movie, and I kind of said this about last week for a little bit, was a criticism where I'm like, I just don't really know what's going on all the time. In this movie, I have never seen a movie where the entire time I'm like, who is that? Why are they doing this?
Why aren't the horse
How?
races?
What's the point? Like towards the end, when there's like the big chase scenes going on, I'm like, who are all these guys chasing him? Why is there so many cars?
I don't know.
And it's just like, I just don't even understand. And it's like, then you just get the fucking other guy on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Halfway through it, I just thought Mission Impossible 1 is leagues better than this.
So
movie.
much
And that's the
better.
thing. Like Mission Impossible 1 was it feels needlessly complicated until you get to this, and then you go, oh no, this is needlessly complicated. Like this is somehow simultaneously overcomplicated and dumb as shit. Like you look at this, you're like, none of this has any. This is a perfect example of people writing the next beat with zero understanding of what came before or what's going to come after. You know, what'd be really cool if he jumps on a motorcycle here. John, that makes no sense. There's lots of people behind him, and motorcycle has no shielding
No
whatsoever.
covers.
I said motorcycle. All right. Hey, but you know what? If he's on a motorcycle, the other guy has to be on a motorcycle too, right? I like where your fucking head's at. Get him on a red one though, so we know the difference because they fucking look exactly the same.
Yeah.
They're the exact same look.
That's the point,
There were
though,
many.
man.
There were many moments where I thought that's a bad
so
stunt double.
Bad.
Yeah. and
why-
it was like, oh no, it's the other guy.
like, oh,
That's the
yeah.
other guy.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's like the end of a Marvel movie. It's like he has to face himself.
yeah, exactly.
Also,
I get it, and Barrett brought up a good point. That was the point. Like that was supposed to be the point. Was that this guy was the baddie?
Oh,
throughout.
as foreshadowed by the beginning of the fucking movie.
Right, where he's like, I don't like you, and I've learned everything about you, and I'm you, right? Because I'm actually you. But I think they did it. If you want to see a movie that actually does this slightly better, GoldenEye is a better example.
That's what I was
Where you
gonna
have
say.
the two 006,
Yeah.
007,
Yeah.
and there is a real conflict between them of like, hey, you've done this whole thing for England, and it fucked me over, and you shouldn't. And they were actually friends and actually conflicted about killing each other. That's a much better way to do it.
really quick.
Sorry,
Tandy?
Barrett, did I jump on your?
I always thought it was
Tandy
Thandy.
Not
Tandy.
Thandy.
Nick Scarpino, before this show, looked it up, and it is in fact Tandy.
My wife, who's
Tandy
in
Newton.
league smarter than I am when it comes to everything, was like, I was like, oh man, Thandy, a young Thandy Newton. She was like, I think
So young.
it's Tandy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, you're probably right. I've never heard anyone say that
trust
word.
you.
I've never.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up today, and spoilers, tune into Internet Explorers next Monday because we're
Yeah.
going through a long list of shit that I have said wrong
Nick
my
has
entire
he
life.
found a list of people's names that everyone says wrong. And it, oh man, did you know how Rihanna's name is said? Because it's not Rihanna.
Oh no.
It's Rihanna.
No way. No.
I didn't believe.
They
I
literally-
even told Nick. I was like, I don't believe you. And he pulled it up, and
It's
some
literally
guy
them
says,
saying their own names. Like,
"Yeah,
it's
like,
Rihanna.
no, it's Rihanna." You're like, what?
Whoa.
like it's not
What?
Zendaya. It's
Yeah.
Zendaya. But it
I knew
doesn't
that
matter.
one.
The whole fucking.
Oh,
thing.
It's a whole
what
rumor.
about what's her face? Singer, little girl, singer.
Zendaya.
Bad Baby?
Sia?
You thinking Bad Baby?
No, I mean it's the most popular singer in the world right now.
Ariana
Bad Baby.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, it's Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
That's how it's really
Well, that's
pronounced.
how
Is it
someone told me
really?
last week.
Yeah, it's Grande.
I can't confirm that one on the
See,
list. It
I
wasn't on
don't
the list.
believe that. Like that one sounds just like factually wrong.
no, it's totally true. Totally true.
I mean, I go
We'll have
to
to look at the
Starbucks.
list.
I go to Starbucks every day, Andy. I know how to say the word grande.
Yeah, dude.
I feel
Thank you,
like
Barrett.
this movie, every single scene was just an excuse for them to get to another scene where Tom Cruise can spin around a lot.
Dude.
Like he's
Or
spinning
kickflip.
as
He does a
listen,
lot of kickflips
He
in this.
spins up.
I-
He spins sideways. He spins on motorcycles. He spins in cars
Constantly
with other
spinning.
cars.
Dude,
Constantly
at
spinning.
one point, he does like a front flip, or I guess a back flip.
he does the guile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Flash
kicks.
kick.
He kicks the dude's gun, and with his other foot, kicks the dude down.
in the fucking face, man. Yeah,
Really
man.
cool.
Don't want to, but dude.
I don't
What
think
I
that's
love is that
physically possible.
none of us want to go through the plot of this
Let's
movie.
get to the plot.
We're so set. We're like, blah, 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 blah. Greg is missing! Well, okay. I was getting into it with you.
Just gotta get into it.
You want to go?
Let's get this shit
Ladies
over
and
with.
gentlemen, we're in Sydney, Australia, and the bad guy from the movie The Saint is working on the secret of the ooze because he's in a lab that's really LED.
A lot of LEDs.
I'll tell you what, if we had to work in that environment, I'd go even more fucking insane than I am right now. But it doesn't matter because he's talking to himself, or what you think is himself. But no, he's really talking to his friend Dimitri, and he says, Dimitri, I need you to come to Sydney, and then we're gonna go to Atlanta. So meet me in Sydney, so we can fly all the way across the other side of the fucking world to Atlanta. Don't just meet me there. Where apparently, I don't know why he's going to Atlanta, but later it's explained that Atlanta is where the CDC is. And we see him shoot himself up with something which is Chimera. Right?
Cool name.
Which is cool. Then he walks outside, and I just have a note that says, kids are creepy, and the song Pockets Full of Posies is very creepy.
Yo, what the fuck was
really
this?
creepy.
Hold on, like, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Why? What was that supposed to be?
I think we were supposed to see the world that he was about to destroy because of Chimera, and we hear him say the word, or like, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna, I feel like he was trying to like be like, oh, this is the world he's protecting.
Yeah, that's exactly.
By
Well, because
infecting himself.
Isn't that
I've got
song
20
and,
hours.
like the
That song's
Ashes,
about
Ashes, it's about nukes.
No,
it's
that
it's
song's
about
about
a
the Black
disease.
Plague.
Put that out
the
there.
plague, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the plague. So I think it was supposed to be like this visual representation
That is a little
of like
too on the
he
nose.
created
Oh, God,
the
yeah.
A little
plague.
too on the nose.
Really? Because later we
Fuck, I
get
hate
the
this
actual
movie.
like mythology behind Chimera. That's fucking on the nose, but it doesn't matter because he wants Dimitri to come meet. I can't get on the plane without you, Dimitri. And we cut to the plane, and guess who Dimitri is? Tom
Cruise.
motherfucking long-haired
Whoa.
Cruise.
Oh,
Great
I
hair
don't-
in this movie.
Don't
Yeah.
like it.
Great
Don't
hair.
like
I
it.
love it.
I
Are you
hate
kidding?
his
I was like,
look.
Paul,
No,
look how
I
good his
hate
hair
the way
is.
I hate the way it looks later on in the action scenes because that's when it starts to look like
He looks
Home
like
Improvement
a Beatle.
kids.
He looks like one of the Beatles.
It looks like the kids from Home Improvement, or like when Sean Hunter's hair wasn't as cool. It's cool when he's just relaxed and chilling, but when he's in action, it starts to look
enough
like a
product.
mushroom cut.
That's what it
Starts to
was.
look like the mushroom bowl.
It's
cut.
also one of those things where, just to take a second, like, look at the difference between action heroes back in the 90s and now. He is just waifishly skinny, beautiful hair, kind of boy bandish. And now, like, you'll see as we get later, everyone's a lot more fit and a lot more like like you've seen the trailer for whatever the last one was, where fucking
Fallout.
Superman was like, he does that fucking like,
such a good scene.
everyone's more jacked. Everyone's a lot more like, it looks like they could physically do the things they're doing in the movies.
Yeah.
Not this one, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on this plane. Nice looking plane. Tell you that right now. We're seeing lots of weird people on the plane, though. Just showing you shots of other people, including the pilot. Keep that in mind for 5 minutes from now.
He looked fishy.
When we lose, he's like, do you think everything's going to be okay? And he's got this attaché case. And you're like, oh, the thing's in the attaché case, even though the audience knows he fucking shot himself up with the thing.
This movie,
And he's only got 20 hours, by the way.
to
We've set up-
reveal to the audience the thing before they show it to the characters.
Well,
in
nothing's
it,
more
but
suspenseful
right
than the
before.
characters not knowing, but the audience knowing and not caring.
Not caring at all.
Nailed it.
We also established that T-minus 20 hours, right? This guy's got 20 hours before he's dead as fucking disco, right? Which is great, because that would have been something fun, too, to like maybe do later when Tandy Newton gets it, but don't worry about that. We got it right now. Let's get it all out of the way now so we can just enjoy the balletic dancing in this movie. He's like, it's dropping air pressure, and the things come from the ceiling, and he goes, is everything going to be okay? And Tom Cruise is like, yeah, it's fine, man. I'll go check.
I'm gonna go check it
I'm
out.
going to go check it out.
Just put on your mask.
Yeah.
Just make
FYI,
sure you're wearing
hey,
your
If you're
mask.
on a plane and the oxygen mask drops, that's not a good sign.
No.
That's a bad sign. That's a drop in cabin pressure. You're all going to die.
Especially
Say
if you're
bye-bye.
carrying this virus and you know people are after
Right,
you. You know?
exactly. I'd be like, this shit's going down, right? And then, oh no, it's revealed this is not Tom Cruise. Oh no, this is someone else that we've never. But they do introduce one element that I really appreciate in this, right? Which is, instead of Tom Cruise dressing up as himself and other characters, they do the mask pull, which is actually kind of cool. And they've got he's got the voice modulating chip.
That was.
sticker thing,
I
which I
actually
think is pretty
really
cool.
like this moment where they pull the mask because I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, that got me too, Kevin. I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, I got
And it was-
got. That was cool.
I got. And then there's another moment later where they do it again where I was like, I like the use of this mask and I like the introduction of the voice modulator because that makes a lot of sense. I mean, not science-wise.
No.
But like, it's cool that like they're like, okay, it sounds like Tom Cruise now.
Science with Kev.
I'm Kevin. I don't think that would work like that. I don't think you could put like something that I'm sure is like
I also don't
electrocuting
think you
your
can wear
body.
someone else's face. So you're right.
I mean, you could wear someone else's face.
Yeah.
I don't
Definitely
think it
good.
would look that good.
Probably
though.
not.
I don't know. About
It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, because to cover up killing this guy, they take down the entire
That.
fucking
Who is
plane.
it? Who is this guy?
The guy from
the bad guy.
The bad guy is the
Sean Ambrose.
Oh, you mean the guy that takes off the mask and we revealed the grand villain, the grand antagonist of this whole thing? His name is Sean Ambrose.
Sean Ambrose.
My name is Sean
Did you understand
Ambrose.
a single word he said in the entire movie?
He's very Scottish.
Well, I watched
my God.
with
Or
captions.
Irish.
So yes,
I
I have no problem understanding Scottish accents.
I had such a problem. I couldn't understand a thing he was saying.
I mean, Tim, you're kind of dumb though.
This that's true. But this comes from Blackjack. The Patreon supported Blackjack. He had an idea for the name for the trivia. The facts. Should you choose to accept them?
Oh, that's good.
Ooh,
That's
that's
great.
really
And I do
good.
like that a lot. So we're gonna use that. Doug Ray Scott, who's the bad guy in this, was also cast as Wolverine in X-Men.
He was supposed to be the original
delays on Mission Impossible forced him to pull out of the X-Men role. The then relatively unknown Hugh Jackman was cast in his place. And in some weird, fun news related to this, Ian McKellen was offered a part in Mission Impossible 2, but he didn't like that they wouldn't let him see the whole script. So he turned it down.
Yeah,
and he was
smart
offered,
move.
Good call.
He was offered the
Respect.
part of Magneto in X-Men the next day,
Instead,
weird.
they hired Anthony Hopkins for the role.
which was due to shoot at the same time. While he would have been great in Mission Impossible, that was probably the right choice for both him and audiences everywhere. McKellen also says he was lucky he didn't take it for another reason. He was due to play Gandalf right after he filmed X-Men and had to make sure to wrap on time. Mission Impossible 2 kept being delayed. And he said, if I decided to do that, I would not have been an X-Men or Lord of the
Oh
Rings.
my God,
Damn.
that would have been a disaster for him. Now
What,
he's
dude, how
been a
fucking
part of an
bad
Oscar award-winning
does
movie.
that guy feel that he took Mission Impossible 2 and not X-Men? Oh, what a
Well, I
terrible,
don't
terrible
think that
choice.
they were both up for the same roles.
No, he was saying that he took Mission Impossible 2. The
Instead
guy
of
that was
Wolverine.
the bad guy was supposed to
Oh,
be
got
Wolverine
it, got
X-Men.
it. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Ian McKellen.
No. Ian McKellen made the 100% right choice. But I'll tell you what, the pilot of this plane didn't, because he wakes up right before he gets fucking just hammers this into the thing.
The plane takes
Really
off its
sad.
mask and it was really a boat.
Right.
You're like, oh, shit.
God,
Get
get
out of the
water.
sky.
But I'll tell you what, mountains, did somebody say mountains?
Oh my God.
We catch up with Ethan Hunt, who I guess is still on vacation from Prague, or the last one. He's growing his hair out, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's gotten into free solo climbing, which is great. And he looks just fantastic.
Yeah.
Climbing up the mountain, we're hearing a really weird song play.
Horrible song.
The music in this movie across the board is just trash. You know what? It really feels like a television show, like
It's
a bad
distracting.
TV
It's
show.
what it is. It's distracting in every scene.
But he's climbing up.
I don't think there
and-
could have been a worse music choice, honestly.
And oh my God, he's about to fall.
Like I'm thinking right now, it's just, I can't.
But he catches himself, and this is actually a cool scene.
This
Beautifully
whole
shot.
scene is cool as
It's
fuck.
really cool.
But that
except for the
falling
music.
thing, like he was about like
He was gonna die.
half a second away from dying.
When he's like holding himself
Because he
backwards
tries
like
to make
this.
a jump.
He was
like he
cool
tries
as
to
a
make that jump,
cucumber.
and it's trippy as
But
shit.
there's also
My
that
hands
great
are like-
music hit as soon as he lands, and that's where the beat comes in. You're like, yeah, I'm
Right?
really
There
feeling
we
this
go.
now.
More facts
It's
for
like a
you.
biscuit.
Cruise demanded that the cliff scene in Mission Impossible 2 be filmed on a real cliff instead of a soundstage. He scaled the cliff, jumped over a drop, and hung from a cliff ledge wearing only a safety cable. Director John Woo was so scared about him performing the stunt that he couldn't even watch the monitor as they filmed Cruise on the cliff. It took 7 takes to get it right. And honestly, I'm like not gonna go into a lot more of the him jumping off shit trivia, because anything you see him jump off, guess what? Tom Cruise fucking jumped off.
But again,
He's so cool.
And this is, I mean, it is fucking cool because
Yeah.
this scene is the best scene of the fucking movie, because you actually feel like he's doing something.
it's so tense.
and it's cool.
You could feel the grittiness of the fingers,
fucking-
like with
the
the little
chalk,
chalk
the
on the
chalk.
rock. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you could tell his fingers feel real
which
hard.
is great.
I
Yeah.
honestly believe that these movies are like continuing because he wants to do cool stunts.
That's
Like,
100% true.
as it continues,
It is
you're gonna
100%
see
true.
he keeps doing fucking cool stunts.
Yeah. But let me tell you, man, what a great feeling he must have had climbing up this building, and then just totally decimated by the fact that a fucking helicopter comes out of nowhere and shoots an RPG at him. And he's like, all right.
He don't give a fuck.
But
He
it's not an
knows.
RPG, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pair of Oakley sunglasses.
Yeah, it is.
This whole
That's where we're
sequence,
at.
this whole sequence is straight out of the intro when they would do the movie awards parodies
Oh,
on
yeah.
MTV.
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly what all this feels like. Of like he pulls out and it's like an award. Like
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
expecting. It's so goddamn horrible, dude.
Dude, he puts these sunglasses on, and whose voice do we hear? That's right, Transformers: The Last Night.
No.
Anthony Hopkins is in this movie. I totally forgot he was in this movie. because he's
too.
not. He plays a fucking throwaway
Useless character.
just a total useless character. He's the one giving him the missions, and the message is like, "Hey, man, somebody stole this thing called Chimera, and you have to pick your team. But you can have anyone you want, but you have to have Tandy Newton. She has to be on this team, and I'm not going to tell you why, because that's a reveal 5 minutes from now.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Exactly.
And this message is going to self-destruct in 10 seconds, and he takes the glasses off.
It's 5 seconds. Which is dangerous
Yeah,
for him
very
something on
dangerous.
someone's face.
Very
Whoa,
dangerous.
shit. Like, but he's cool as a cucumber.
Like, what
Like,
happens
I'm in
if
a
you-
restroom stall.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I know. Jesus Christ. But it's so cool because he takes it and he throws it toward the camera and it explodes.
And this is when we
get the-
first get our slow-mo. And it's
Oh my God.
we're just like, why? Why is this fucking happening right now?
It's also where we get the intro, right? The
Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Another terrible title
Yeah,
card.
just better than last time though. Quick question, because I feel like last week we talked about the end of Mission Impossible 1. I was under the understanding that he became the new leader guy.
Yes, but not in this. Let's
This
just
is
put it
like
that way.
this is like
he
honestly
still
too
made
fast,
the
too
team.
furious to this.
He is.
Well,
He is
we're
the
gonna
team.
kind of pretend things happen.
He has become
but-
the team leader, and that's what this is. Like, so,
Okay.
so this the Oakleys is this message was self-destruct, like Ethan, like you have to put this team together. Except it's not really. They don't give him a lot of like. They don't do a lot.
No,
of
I get
emphasis on
that, but
well, Phelps was Jim was just the leader of the team.
Yeah.
He wasn't the CIA head or anything like
yeah,
that.
Phelps was the one that got that message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
originally,
beginning.
yeah.
what
Okay,
they
that
added
makes
was
sense.
Anthony Hopkins being like the point man. That was
Anthony Hopkins is the Kittredge in this.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah,
The CIA
Who-
guy, the
who
head
was
of the
that?
CIA.
Why wouldn't they just use Kittredge?
I think Kittredge like that after the whole debacle. They were just like, dude, we can't trust you.
Also,
too many close-up shots of you.
The guy at the restaurant, the aquarium
We've
restaurant.
seen up your nose too many
At,
times.
at
seen way
the
up your
end
nose.
of one, he definitely like he's going to vacation, but he's also getting a mission. Was he just like, nah?
I think it's a different mission.
I think
Oh,
a
that
lot of
was
years
that
passed.
was
Yeah.
years.
The hair.
Yeah.
The hair, man. He
Sure,
grew up the
sure,
hair.
the hair
We need you to go and find Tandy Newton's character in Seville, Spain, where they do nothing but flamenco dance.
That's it, man.
Oh my
And
god.
let me tell
I
you,
get it. It's
good
I've seen
dancing.
some real cool effects before in my life. And as an After Effects artist, I've made some cool effects. But the flamenco dancing compositing in this
so bad.
is so fucking bad. And this is, but the good thing about this scene is this is what we get the first time where people stare at each other. And he sees Tandy Newton, and she sees him, and then he sees her, and she sees him, and he sees her, and she sees him, and then
scene.
she disappears.
But there's also a guy on the
she
right
just
side of the
disappears
screen.
into someone's fucking
There's
jacket.
a guy on the right side of the screen that looks like he is Compton. I swear to Christ.
They are all Compton.
Yeah,
like
he was.
it's so bad.
Yeah,
If you look
100%.
close,
Random guy.
Yeah,
if you look close, there's actually like a little green outline. They were like, we don't even worry about taking the green out. Just get him on
Like,
the
I
fucking
thought
green
they were
screen.
trying to like set up something, and I was like, "Oh, is there
Like, who's this
another-
random
Is,
man?
is this his team?" And like, we're getting the first reveal of like, "Oh, look at his team that he's
Yeah.
already started setting
It
up."
looked like when
No.
we comped ourselves into the Captain America Civil War
Oh, yeah.
ad when we were advertising our
The
baseball
hat.
hat. That's what it looked like, dude. It looked
Oh,
terrible.
it's
Well,
bad.
we did a really good job, is what it
We
was.
did great,
Yeah,
yeah.
we did a great.
So we're in Spain, and we get that Tandy Newton is she starts breaking into this cool place because she wants to steal this dope ass necklace. But guess who's there as well? It's Tom Cruise. It's Tom Cruise, and he was like, "Hey, don't do that. It's not that one. It's that one." And he starts telling her all sorts of stuff. That how's he know? It's Tom Cruise, of course.
I'm
And then,
Tom
oh no,
Cruise.
it's Tom Cruise. Oh no, it's the guards, right? And where this scene's supposed to be sexy. It's not. It's just
No,
weird.
it's
And
very
weird.
she pulls him on top of her, and then she goes, "Do you mind if I'm on top?" And he's like, "I don't mind if you're on top." And there's it's not even a
I don't
sexual
mind, but I come
innuendo.
faster.
It's literally just like, this is weird. She's breaking in, and she finds this beautiful Bulgari necklace, and then he's like, "Oh, don't shut the door." And I don't know why, but if you shut the door to the thing you just broke into, that's when the security alarm goes off and all the guards come. Thanks, big.
It seemed like it was on a pressure sensor because they talk
Some
about that
sort of
later.
sensor.
Yeah.
But it's all cool because guess what? Tom Cruise is the head of security for this place.
Yeah.
He's had one day,
Tight.
and he's become the head of security
Hey, boys.
for this bad guy in one day.
Apologize immediately.
Exactly.
That
so
line
he's like,
is so stupid.
"Hey, I think I'm gonna. We'll tweak some stuff. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Give her the necklace back." And she's like, "I got to give him the necklace back." And it's like pretty obvious that she was stealing it, but we don't care.
As
about
if
that.
Tom Cruise were Darth Vader and he was in like force choke and like apologize to him now. Like it's so stupid, dude.
But Tom Cruise walks her out and is like, "Hey, you know, I got a confession to make. I was actually the one that triggered the alarm and fucked you over. From you could have made like $2 million off this, but I fucked you over. But I need you for a job. And she goes, I don't put up with cheeky bastards. And then she leaves. And he's like, I guess I'm a cheeky bastard, but it's okay because I can find you no matter where you're at in the world.
Movie's over.
I can find you no matter where you're at in the world. He basically the job. He was like, I need you for a job, and all your problems with Interpol and FBI and all the agencies are going to go away. And she's like, fuck you. I don't care. I don't care. But then they catch up, I believe. Oh, yeah, that's right. Then we get just this great scene that again was done so much better in GoldenEye, where they're racing down the mountain and. So the flamingo scene was where we were introduced to not one but two key components of this movie. Okay, long staring slow motion and spinning. Okay, and the theme of spinning backed up here again when his really weird dorky car and her really weird dorky car bang together and spin together, and she goes almost off the cliff.
It was an Audi and like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And that was a Porsche and Audi, and they were like lame ass, like 90s versions of like the 90s were not.
But also
we're not,
it was
we're not good.
But we had that moment where she's like, all right, well, if you can catch me. Because he calls her on her car phone with his old ass Nokia phone. And she's like, I don't even have this number. And then it's like, oh, yeah, catch me. And then they're racing, and I guess he's winning.
She's trying to murder him.
Yeah, and then she's just like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to just use this car to like
Right.
push you off the road.
And then he saves her life. She's hanging off the fucking thing, and he jumps in and he saves her life. And they're like, hey, the car's hanging off the thing, but we'll just sit in it for a bit.
But then
and maybe
the music cut of the slow-mo spinning, the
looked
music choice
terrified.
that
While
like
they stare at
again
each
popped
other.
into there, horrible.
Why? Like,
It's-
where'd they even fucking get that? But Nick, you totally nailed this. Where it's like this scene, I think represents the entire movie. Where it's the only scene in the movie that I can remember that combines all of the things,
All the elements.
Where it has
Spinning and
the
staring.
looking,
Slow-mo.
the spinning, and the slow mo.
Yeah.
Like all together,
And the
Like,
weird
whoa.
music choice.
and the weird music.
Yeah.
Whoa! But
We're
dude,
really-
honestly, the first time when we saw him in the
They
car
hit- they
spun
hit for the
together,
cycle
I was
right
like,
there.
"This is cool." But then they kept doing it, and
This
it
is
ends in
so
this slow-mo
much.
thing.
they were spinning for so
A fact
long.
for you, Tandy Newton was worried about driving on the left side of a car for the car chase because she's British and wasn't used to it. So the filmmakers hid a stunt driver in the passenger seat of her car who could drive if the scene got out of control.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
How would
What
that
was he
work?
gonna just? Were they gonna switch?
Yeah, was
They
he
just,
going to be
hold
like,
on,
come
it
on, be
is-
like, oh, I got it.
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe it was like one of those driver's ed cars where you have the steering wheels on both sides, sort of thing.
Doesn't matter because guess what this scene did, man? It just put these two right back. And if you thought they had chemistry in the last scene, boy, you were wrong.
Now they kissed.
But now they kissed, and that's how relationships work. And
Love.
now we're gonna
It's
go
true.
right to the hotel, and they just fucked. They got
they
it
did.
fucking on.
And also,
which seems fast, but whatever.
I didn't
get
realize
it.
this, but Fast and Furious just totally borrowed their little love theme where they're laying there in bed and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just getting flashbacks to Dom and Letty because
Yeah.
it's the exact same fucking, like, just like,
Music.
yeah, just exact same song playing. I'm just like, oh my God.
Or-
And
in
the
Spain,
exact
you know.
same level
Yeah.
of chemistry between the two.
Oh, yeah.
As that is to say, zero. But the theme of this movie is, hey, this is not exactly by the book. And I'm Ethan Hunt, and I'm a guy that usually gets it done. But wow, you have spun me like around like a hurricane, Tandy Newton.
Right
even though I've only
around,
known you for
right
about
around.
10, 15 minutes total.
Max, yeah.
Really total.
Yeah.
But I'm madly in love with you. And to the point where I'm willing to sacrifice king and country for you because you are my everything.
He's
but
not British.
what's that?
I said he's not British.
Tandy is. Who knows? It's her king. I'm fucking he's American. I don't sacrifice my own country. Fuck no, America. Then we go to a scary torch parade, which is terrifying. And Ethan meets up with Anthony Hopkins, who again,
Scary door.
I mean, I talked about him 5 seconds ago. I totally forgot he was in this movie until I read that line again. And he's like, he says the thing, sorry for interrupting your vacation. And then Tom Cruise says, oh, sorry, I didn't tell you where I was. And he goes, hey, if you had, it wouldn't have been a vacation, right? That's fun. And
Well,
they're
they brought
supposed-
back that line from the first,
Yeah.
from the intro.
Is that from the intro?
In-
Whatever.
cool
it was.
callback.
Yeah, and then they do it like 10 more times.
Callback.
Then they do it at the end, yeah.
And then he shows him the message from the bad guy, the bad guy from the Saint, and he says, and Tom Cruise goes, oh shit, we got to get him out. How do we do this? And he goes, it's too late. He's dead. He's dead. We couldn't find you, so we used Sean Ambrose. Right? He doubled as you. So we get that, and this is supposed to be a huge reveal, right? Which would have been a really cool reveal if we hadn't already seen him tear off the thing. And who the fuck is Sean Ambrose? Who cares? It's weird. And then he goes, that's why I wanted you to have Tandy Newton, because Tandy Newton and Ambrose used to bang it out. But we're going to use her to get close to him and find out what he's going to do with Chimera, because he's gone rogue, apparently, which kind of should have been a bigger deal, I think, in the movie. Yeah. But we're like, okay, he's an MIF guy or IMF guy. He's one of your guys.
And now he's bad. Okay.
But okay, he's bad.
Like,
cool.
what did you do to fuck him over? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they
nothing. I
didn't.
think he just wanted money.
It's like they expected him to go like rogue or something. It was fucking weird.
And then
He
we
was
get
a
a
plant
very.
the whole time.
I made a note of this because we get a really weird line where Tom Cruise goes, "Look, she's got no training for this sort of thing," and Anthony Hopkins goes, "Hey man, she's a woman. She's got all the training she needs to go to bed with a man and lie to him."
Jesus!
And I wrote the question: who hurt you, Anthony Hopkins? Who hurt you?
It's my lying bitch of a wife.
Oh my god! I was like, that line just. I was like, dude, like, talk about being not fair and measured. Like, what is just the inappropriate thing to say?
We get another moment like that where the guy's like the bad guy is talking to his like henchman, and then like he's like, she's probably here for bad reasons, and he's like, fuck it, I'm okay with that, and then cuts off his pinky.
Yeah, we're gonna. I made notes of all the incredibly demeaning lines that the guys
Also,
say in this movie
man,
toward the only the only woman in this fucking movie.
It's so much fun looking at your notes, where it's just Sean Ambrose. Lame name.
Sean Ambrose. Because you know what I mean? Like, Sean Ambrose is a character you expect in like a fucking young adult television show. Like, he's the guy that James Van Der Beek has to fight for fucking Pacey
he's
or
the
whatever.
quarterback. Yeah.
Oh god, what a terrible. This thing is just does not know what it wants to be in this movie. And that's sad. But he meets back up with Tandy Newton. He gives her the ultimatum. He says, "Look, I need you to do this." What's up?
Sorry, there was just one more that I wanted to like give attention to, because it was like, and what if she doesn't want to do it? Show her this. And it's the oldest digital camera I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
It was a
Old
giant
even for
screen
that.
with a little screen this big on
Yeah.
it.
It was like a half-inch by half-inch display.
Oh my god! Yeah,
And
we're
what's
going
on
to
it-
get to the technology in this
Yeah.
movie a little bit later, but before we do, he's got this thing, and you got to. I need you for this, and you got to. This is your decision. And she's like, and they get it, and then he's got this great line. Would it make you feel any better if I didn't want you to do this? And she said yes, and he goes, well, then feel better. Because I love you.
We've known each other for decades.
15 minutes, and I love you, Tandy.
Well, then feel better.
That's what he says. Well, then feel better. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to do this for you, Ethan. I'm going to do this for you because we're in
I
love.
have a question for you guys, and no spoilers for the future. I just want to know, like, does he get better?
Who?
Or does he always have these fucking weird?
I'm just
he gets
listen.
he gets way better.
Way better.
Okay.
Chop.
Let's just get through this one.
Okay.
Let's just say this: the series up until this point has had a hard time finding its identity. We'll leave it at that. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Let's see. So they, of course, then they go. Sean. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make you Sean Ambrose. I don't know a thing about him, but I know everything about him. And guess what? He is the kind of guy that is a sucker for a damsel in distress. So we're gonna get you arrested, and he's gonna see that pop up on the Interpols and all that stuff. Because I guess he just spends his days and nights like a fucking would-be detective in Gotham City listening to the police scanner, except he's in fucking Australia and finds her, and she gets arrested, and he's like, I gotta go save her.
They did explain that he was listening to stuff because of his like heist.
Because of the fact that he downed a plane?
Yeah.
Fair point. But it worked. And he sees her, and he's like, oh, you're in. I'm gonna come save you.
Oh my god! And then we get the most bizarre shot in this movie, which is saying something, because we see her with her stupid little scarf on a boat, and then that boat takes forever to get to the dock. But then they get off the dock, and then you start seeing her walk, and they cut away and back to it. So
To Ethan, but Ethan's watching because, by the way, before this, they shot her up in the fucking heel
GPS.
with the GPS, the untraceable thing, which you were like, oh, at some point they're gonna figure out that it's
this
gonna be.
laptop.
Oh my god, only one laptop.
Satellites.
Only
dude.
one laptop.
It makes sense. But this reminded me of the Fast 6 airplane runway thing, where I'm just like, this is the longest dock in the fucking history of docks. And she's walking, and about halfway through, it was insult to injury because it goes slow-mo of her walking. I'm like, we've already seen her walk normal speed.
Well, what
Why you do
happened
this?
was-
Then she gets to the end. She gets to the fucking end, and he looks at her, and he goes, and it looks like he's about to punch her in the face. But then it slow-mos again, and he grabs her scarf.
And she's like, oh, like that's supposed to be sexy.
What
You grab
the
my
fuck?
scarf.
But the horrible thing about the slow-mo is like it's not like it's a high-speed camera slowed
No,
down.
no,
It is
no.
just a 24 point whatever frame per second camera slowed down like in post, and
I have a note about this too. I was like, so at this point, she goes to Sean Ambrose' mansion, and he looks at her, and like he definitely wants to have sex with her, and everything is slow mo. Even the blonde guy who was the pilot was slow mo. They cut to him for some reason, and he's looking at, just so you know, he's not cool with this. Because they were homies before.
And the thing
is, it's bros before hoes.
There was a question for way too long in this movie of
who is this fucking guy?
Is this guy just trying to fuck her? Like, is he in love with her, or is he suspicious of her, or both? I don't know.
I think he was in love with her. I think that was clear that like
really.
No,
see, that's not love. I'm with you. By the end, it's like
not
no.
love.
It was just like he's suspicious
He was just,
of her.
he was just
When we
pissed off
have-
that like she's taking his time away from Sean Ambrose. Yeah.
So,
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You're saying that the friend?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're saying we're talking about the blonde
Oh
friend.
no, he was suspicious.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
No.
Yeah.
So it's
you were
established
talking
that they don't know that they're setting her in as the mole. They don't know what he's got. He doesn't know what he's got. Everyone's trying to figure everything out, but we see her tracked and they make out, and that's all great. Sean's super creepy. I have that, the whole clothing thing. And then we get the weird mythology of every search for a hero must begin with a villain, which is like, okay. And they start somehow.
This is so fucking Uncharted.
It's all very convoluted, but they give us the myth of the prince whose name I wrote down, but I'm fairly certain I got it wrong. So I'm just going to call it Valerian.
Prince Ali.
Because it's Vaklafafan, who killed the Chimera, which is that. Which
Was
is
it Thodden or something?
Someone can look it up. I
'Cause
tried. I made a note to look it up.
It was the name of the antidote.
Well, the name of the antidote was the name of the prince,
And
and the
Felron.
chimera was the name of the head of the animal that had the head of a lion and tail of a serpent. So we get the search for the end all be all cure for the flu, which is, by the way, that's what he was trying to do. I'm just trying to cure the flu. Has made the fucking flu from hell. That's what it has made.
Super flu.
Which totally kind of actually, let's get the science with Kev. That actually kind of makes sense.
Science.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it makes sense that when you're trying to cure something, you try to find the dormant strand of the thing, right? And then, but in doing so, he made the super fucking strand.
Yeah.
And that's what we get.
Again,
It's why
Marvel
we
movie origins.
Yeah, that's why we
Exactly.
shouldn't be using the antibacterial hand wash.
Exactly.
Because we're just making stronger bacteria.
That's why.
100%
That's
right.
why I let
And they
Kevin.
talk about that in a scene later where they're like, "Oh, before antibiotics just used to work. Now they don't."
Yeah. Oh, he talked about
Yeah.
using penicillin like for everything or whatever.
penicillin, that's what it is.
But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Hugh, the blonde pilot, does not trust Tandy. The timing seems weird. Because we
He's right.
just destroyed a plane and she came back into our life like 1 minute later. Suspiciously, he says suspicious, but hardly conclusive. Sean cuts his friend's fucking finger
Yeah.
off for no reason.
But this
the
is
guy's
the-
just like, hey man, like we're trying to do something here, and she's clearly a CIA mole.
But it's used as a device later
Oh,
of
it
the
sure
pinky.
is.
But it's
We
clearly-
don't
Thi-
forget about that.
This is the scene where we get that insane, like a steady cam shot that like does this weird zoom in on him as if they had just gotten the camera late and like, let's do some reshoots with this camera because it's really fucking cool. And like it doesn't, the color temperatures don't match. Nothing matches in any of this scene. It's really bizarre.
This was one of those scenes where I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
Yeah.
why are you being such a dick to this dude? Like, he seriously is just
He's
bringing
your bro,
something
and
up.
he's bringing up a good
Yeah.
point. Don't cut his. You cut his pinky off.
yeah.
And also, so like, was it like a weird warning where it's like,
It was
look,
like a tip. It was-
because he was like, he had it like
Oh.
down there.
No.
But then before he did it, he pulled it up.
Oh, you can
Yeah,
get a pinky reattached.
it was
easy.
like a quarter.
Just grow back.
I really
But
want.
I feel like he like was gonna be more dramatic about
Yeah.
it, and then at the last second when he cut it, he like brought it up and then cut.
Hey, he just cut the
But it
tip
was
of it off. He just got a little tip of it off.
I
But,
really
like,
wanted him
that's
to
not-
just cut the nail.
Yeah, to me too. I was like, wow. It was weird that the guy had a creepy fucking coke nail.
Yeah, it was.
But I digress. I skipped a massive point.
Thank God.
That's
Let's move on.
in this, and I apologize, guys. I failed you for the last time. Kevin force choke me. Kevin.
Harder. I like it.
Oh yeah, God
Ah,
damn it.
no.
That's how it is.
No,
That's how it is.
I don't like that at all.
Of course, hallmark of Mission Impossible. We got to put the team together. So who do we get? Dope. Ving Rhames and a totally forgettable Australian guy that does
other
nothing
guy.
in this fucking movie at all.
here's my
doesn't
thing.
even
Totally
die.
fucking useless character.
You guys fucking know me. I love music. I love stupid music cues. And when the Mission Impossible music started playing, I was like, why the fuck is it they're wasting this song for this? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then I realized, oh, they're gathering the team, and I was like, oh, all right, let's go.
I was like, put big rings.
The team consists of 2 other people.
Yeah.
One guy who just literally is a pilot. He's like, hey, good day, mate. I'm a pilot. You hired me, and we're there's some Joeys down there, and it's gonna be great. So
Exactly.
we're off to the racetracks. Why? I can't remember. Oh, it's because he has
we
to meet
also
with the
get
guy.
the scene of them banging.
Well, no, before them banging, where he's like, put on this dress,
right.
and she like
Creepy.
very like doesn't
She doesn't
want to
wanna do
undress, undresses,
And he's
turns
like,
around and then goes to the camera, and he's like, wait,
She's like, don't you want to watch me in the dress? And he's like, eventually, or some shit.
and
like
then I guess she has to have sex with him.
that. Really terrible.
Like, I really feel like a lot of these scenes were written by a guy who has never interacted with a female in his entire life.
Looking it up.
This is just what he imagined sex was like. Like, this is what
Well, I
sex,
think
this is
it
what
was- it
sex
was
and
to-
like
it was
romance
to-
is
well,
like.
they're
It was
painting
to
him in
show-
an evil light.
Yeah, and her in like she's doing it for the team, man.
Yeah.
But it would have been like actually compelling if her character was conflicted. Actually liked Sean and was like, oh shit, like I don't want to be this person.
That would have
Like,
added
that would have been
something.
so much cooler for her character if she was like, hey, I don't want to betray this guy because I do love him, but he's doing bad things and that's conflicting to me. But I also like this new
with
Ethan
you,
guy.
though.
But maybe we shouldn't immediately like we didn't fall in
Like,
love.
she's the MacGuffin in this movie,
Yeah.
and that's horrible.
So but that's the other thing is like, can you guys think of any other movie that has this
Days of Thunder.
few women in it?
No.
Because
Star Wars,
it's literally
it's
just
weird.
her.
It's
Oh,
very
he wrote
weird.
Mission Impossible 1 as well?
Oh.
Interesting.
Mission Impossible
And
2 was
Crimson
the
Tide.
last
Wow.
thing he
Okay.
wrote.
And Days of Thunder. Great movie.
Well, I guess it makes sense that he also wrote the scene where Tom Cruise is groping that really hot French woman on the bed. And it's like, whose team are you on? You know, he's all in part
But
one.
I mean,
you know?
like you have to
Well,
check
that-
for a gun.
It's true.
That had a specific purpose
That
where
made
he was
sense.
fucking going crazy and terrified and was being hyper violent.
And I'm just thinking about like
And it was
two
yeah.
creepy scenes.
Yeah, that was a little creepy, but at
Hey,
least that
this
could be
one was way more creepy.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, because like at the end of that scene, he didn't rape her.
that's
You
fair.
know, at
it's
the end of this
true.
one, he did.
We're at the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen, and
Why are we only at the racetrack?
we're at the racetrack, and she's got a, you know, the Australian guy gives her an earpiece, and it's super subtle, and he's like, put this in your ear. And then she hears Ethan, and he's like, I'm across the racetrack. And she pulls out a normal pair of binoculars and looks at Ethan, and he's got a weird tiny pair of
They're so
binoculars
cool
that
looking.
are fucking weird looking.
Those are like the binoculars that I fantasized of having as a kid because they look like so spy and so high tech.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Everyone else has normal binoculars. He's got a pair of
They
hyper
had like
cool
red
CIA
UI.
now.
Like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh my
The
god.
binoculars. All right. I have a bone to pick with this. They're talking to each other. He's like, you just can talk and it's like I'm next to you. So then why do you guys need to be looking at each other? Don't look at each other, in fact. Like
Yeah,
that's probably
maybe
not
that's probably a
advisable
tell.
with your dumb, especially you Tom
Especially when the
Cruise.
blonde guy's looking at you the whole time. We're always cutting to the blonde guy.
I mean, hey, blonde guy's looking at you. And she goes, okay.
Right. It's established here. It's established here that there's some sort of cryptic bid in the newspapers for the virus. And then we see the one and only Mad Eye Moody. Sean Ambrose is meeting with Mad Eye Moody, Professor Mad Eye Moody.
Oh shit, that was Mad Eye.
Yeah,
That was
I
Mad Eye
believe
Moody,
so.
yeah.
Ah, cool.
He was the guy, I guess, who was the boss of the bad guy in the beginning. That was the bad guy in The Saint. This guy's name is McCoy, and he's the CEO of Biocyte Pharma. And Sean Ambrose shows him a camera feed with a 32 megabyte flash card and just the coolest camera ever. This is the one you were talking about earlier, where he's like, check
Oh,
this
yeah.
out, and it's a giant digital camera. with a
Everyone
tiny
was
little
using
screen.
these Panasonic cameras.
It was ridiculous. And then Ethan tells Tandy, he says, hey, there's a flash card. We need to know what's on that flash card. It's in the envelope in his pocket. You're a thief. You got to steal it.
Go thief.
Go thief. And so she bumps into him and pulls it out of his pocket, and that's great. But Hugh, again, watching everything she's doing, except for the fact that she steals this thing, could have been great evidence, is like, I'm going to follow her because she's going to go put $1,000 on a horse. Okay, follows her, and then the Australian guy bumps into him and slams into his finger, and that's Barrett brought it up. We see the finger for the first time here, which is very, very important for later in the movie. Very important that he's wrapped
Very
this finger.
important.
But also this fucking blonde guy putting him against the wall. It's like,
Yeah, he
does-
overreacted.
you do not look like a tough henchman.
No.
Like,
Also,
this
maybe
is
if you
totally
did
out
that
of character.
at a racetrack and this guy was a real employee, he'd be like, call the cops.
Yeah.
Because this guy just almost killed
Kick
me.
this man
This
out
is
of
attempted
here.
murder.
I love Alyssa came in when I was watching this, and she was like, "That dude looks like the blonde guy looks so familiar. Who is he?" And I stared at him for a little bit, and I was like, "Do you think he's a Skarsgård? Because he weirdly looks like the Skarsgård family."
He was in
Did
some
you
other
look
stuff.
it up?
You can look it up.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
looked it up. He's like barely in anything.
Not a Skarsgård.
Yeah.
I thought he
He's
was
not
going to end up being a
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
So
He just weirdly looks like him.
So here's the weird question I had, and I didn't bother looking it up because really, honestly, when I was done with this movie, I didn't want to think about it again.
Yeah.
So the guy in the beginning stole Chimera from Biocyte pharmaceuticals, right? It's still at Biocyte. Why is McCoy bidding to buy the thing back from...
He's buying the antidote.
But don't they have some sort of record of the antidote of this thing in this
I guess
building?
we have to assume they deleted it. I don't know.
Why would you delete the antidote and not the virus? Like, wouldn't the antidote be the thing you leave behind just in case the
but,
virus
like,
gets out?
If you destroy the virus, everyone's going to be like, why did he destroy the virus? You know?
You know what? You're absolutely right. I forgot. The plot of this is that he's holding the guy hostage of like, you want the antidote. I have the antidote. I'm the only antidote. Right? You're going to go and you're going to release this thing, and that we're going to get to that later. Which
That's
is
later.
completely
That's
ridiculous.
later.
You're right. I'm sorry. So thank you for that.
51%
Sorry.
stuck.
Plot hole filled. Guess what? Luther's got this same camera because everyone's got this cool camera. He's got to run. He's got to go. He's got to watch this thing real quick. Whoa, we got to get it back. We got to get it back, right? He watches it. And there's some really, really fucking weird, I made a note, the funny comedy music involved in this scene where it's a hilarious comedy of errors. So he's trying to get in the van and he's trying to watch this thing and it's fucking weird. But we look at the footage and it's a computer model of Chimera with patient Sergei Rotsky. After 20 hours, he's in a coma. 31 hours, he looks bleeding out of every fucking orifice. And 34 hours later, he is dead as fucking disco. And he was the old partner of bad guy from Saint.
Yeah.
The original guy. So we're starting to see who all these people are.
Question.
Yeah.
20 hours. And then
It can't be cured after 20 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
after
can't be
20 hours.
cured.
After 20 hours,
Because I was like, what's the
it's-
point of showing us past 20? Like,
Can't be
20, you
cured.
should be dead.
We don't really know. Presumably, if after 20 hours it can't be cured and you're super contagious and you explode in a puff of blood in the city and everyone dies.
Also, do you think that like at 19 minutes and 42 seconds, you're safe if you get it cured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I think that's
100%.
what happens.
But I feel like you're just so close.
Well,
at that
everyone's
point.
bodies are exactly the same. So they,
They
so
are
it's totally fine.
why did they test it on like the scientists who figured out the this virus? Why did they use him to test it on? Like later we get that Mad Eye Moody gets taken, right? And like he admits like we had to test it in real life. But like why him? Like I'm sure that guy was still working on the antidote.
Like I got shit to do, man.
I have no idea. None of that makes sense. But we figured it all out. We know what's going on. So Ethan goes, hey, I want you out of Ambrose's place ASAP. Out of Australia. You know, if you don't get out of there right now, I'm fucking coming in there, coming for you. And she's like, God damn, this guy's got great hair, right? And then we cut to Mad Eye Moody. He's in the back of his car, and he opens up a newspaper, and it's the news of his death. And
really
he's like,
fucked
oh,
up.
this is fucked up.
Really
and then he
fucked
gets
up.
gassed. And you're like, shit, this sucks, right? And then we get a shot of Tandy Newton being like, cool, I'm going to sneak out of this dude's house. Because, of course, she went home with him. Why wouldn't you just leave the racetrack and just get the fuck out of there? Just get the fuck out.
You did the thing.
You did the thing. Why would you go all the way back to his weird,
a good point.
reclusive mansion when she could have been, she's like, I want you to get out of there. Okay, I'd have been like, first question, call on me. Nick.
What's up, Nick?
Nick, can I just get in your fucking car with you right now? Can we just go? Like, can I go? I don't know. Is that weird?
No,
I guess that
that's-
would have been suspicious, but whatever.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very
You know?
solid point.
No, I'll go back to his house. She tries to sneak out, but Ethan stops her and he's like, hey, I've changed my mind. I know it's only been a few hours, but I've changed my mind. And I'm looking at you real creepy. I got the creepy eyes with you right now. But you're not going to notice that because I'm wearing the coolest fucking turtleneck sweater anyone's ever seen. So cool. Chunky turtleneck sweaters were very in mid-90s, early 2000s, and this is no exception. Oh, guess what, though? Mad Eye Moody's alive, and he's in a bubble like John Travolta and Jake Gyllenhaal. And the bad guy from The Saint is back. He's not dead. He says his colleague, whatever, only had 2 days to live, and he's infected this guy. And if he wants the cure, let's see, I'm getting lost here. He infected his friend to figure out how bad Chimera could get in the real world. Saint guy was genetically splicing together strands of influenza to find a cure, but in doing so, he created a super flu. And McCoy needs to make that money. He needs Valerian and Chimera so he can release the bug into the world and sell the cure. So his grand plan is, I'm going to, as a pharmaceutical rep, release this plague onto the world, and no one's gonna know it's me, and then I'm gonna be the only one with the cure, and I'm gonna make all the money.
Was that Mad Eye Moody's plan?
That was what he wanted, because he sits here and tells him, "Hey, give me the
said that in
cure.
the hospital bed.
Give me the cure, and we'll make money together because I'm a businessman.
I'm in a for-profit
I'm a businessman.
business.
I mean, I'm in this for the fucking profits. And this cure, the cure to the flu, not enough money in that. Cure to the fucking Black Plague." Probably more money, unless a lot of people die, in which case not as much money.
No,
'cause
still a
everyone's
good
dead.
amount of money.
But good money.
Yeah.
You figure
Australia's going to get fucked, right?
Australia's
going to be
fucking
fucked
dead
in
as
that
disco.
plan.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people in Australia.
Right.
A lot of land, not a lot of people.
Yeah.
But guess what? Not Saint Guy. Saint Guy did in fact die in that plane. That's Ethan. Oh my God, that's cool. It's Ethan. He's wearing the chunky turtle. Oh, that's right. And then we go, oh wait. If Ethan's there, how can he be in the other place? And it's not. It's Sean Ambrose. And Sean says, "I need you to stay here and just be I'm going to be creepy, and you stay here." And she goes, "Okay, I guess you're right. I'm not going to get the fuck out of here because nothing about this is. I love you, Ethan."
Like, wow, we're
Know each
halfway
other.
through the movie. We've gotten our third fucking face reveal.
Yeah, dude.
Pulls it. I know. We're getting a lot of face
Jesus.
reveals.
I
Two
like
more.
the
We got
face.
two more.
I like the face reveals.
many.
When he pulls it off, then it was like a moment of like, how could he be in? And it's like, oh, the other one was the other guy, and he has that moment where he leans against the wall and he goes.
To Tom Cruise's
'Cause he's
credit,
just devastated.
Yeah. I feel like I saw every face turn that he had coming because he always acts different. Tom Cruise has Ethan Hunt's character has like specific mannerisms and stuff. And when he
did a good job.
When he's Sean Ambrose as Ethan Hunt, it's like I feel like you clearly know
He's a little more sinister.
He's
he's
like,
got a
and then
sinister.
just the way he's talking is I was like, this is happening.
And then I made a note at this point that I said, "Thank God there's still an hour left of this movie."
Oh man,
That's what I put on this. And then I said, BTW, to count, only one action scene so far. We've only had one fucking action scene in this movie in Mission Impossible. That was pretty much it.
yeah, fuck.
Everything else has just been people talking and staring
What
at
was
each
the
other.
action
The
scene?
clip scene?
I think it was a clip scene.
Car.
It was a car scene. That's what I counted.
scene,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe 1.5 if you count the clip scene.
you should.
Stay here. Don't alarm Ambrose. Whatever you do whatever he asks. Just whatever he asks is what he tells her. And then it's revealed that it's Ambrose. And oh my God, we fucking didn't know it, but who cares? Ambrose has the cure. It turns out Ambrose has the cure, but no disease. So what do we have to do, ladies and gentlemen? We have to break back into Biocyte and we have to kill Chimera. And this is I'm like, all right, motherfucker, it's Mission Impossible.
it.
We gotta do a cool heist thing, which I want everyone to know. Keep this in mind. There's a cool heist thing. It's a building. This is overly convoluted plot. And here's what we need to do. We got to break into this building. And we got to get to the 42nd floor of it. And there's a giant, for some reason, whoever built this building built a gigantic wind tunnel down the whole thing. Total waste of space. And I tell you what, millions of dollars of revenue you could have had in renting this space out. But no, it's cool. We have this giant thing.
It's a light thing, so you get sunlight.
Okay, I buy that.
Otherwise, a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fluorescent light bulbs, not good
LED
for
light
you.
bulbs too. The LED light bulbs make everyone go fucking insane.
I'm
but
well aware.
I'm going to tell you, I thank God that Sean Ambrose was also explaining what was going on to this as we're seeing it happen. Because there's nothing more exciting than explaining step by step what's happening in an action sequence. So cutting from the action sequence back to the guy who's just going to explain to you what's happening. So
He's so smart. He's one step ahead.
he knows what Ethan's going to do.
Tom's
He
gonna
knows
do.
what Ethan's going to do. So he has to break in to these vents that can somehow be controlled by Luther, but not really controlled by Luther.
No,
A little convoluted on that
hack
one.
in them right
Dude,
away.
the helicopter flies over, right? And Tom Cruise goes out of it and is like horizontal standing
that's
there.
cool.
Such
I'm
a cool
this
thing
is
always.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then they can't get the thing open, and I'm like, oh, this went from awesome to so like,
Yeah.
why are you doing like just let him jump through and let it be cool.
Yeah.
Don't do the Uncharted thing of he's not gonna make it, not gonna make it, not gonna. Oh, he makes it. It's like we get it, but it was so weird where he's like, fuck it, I'm jumping. No, Tom,
You will
Cruise,
die.
Don't do that.
It's
no time.
metal.
Like, you're not in control of this. Like,
But the idea behind this is, look, when he's while he's breaking in up top, we're gonna break in on the bottom. Why not just break in on the bottom? Like, why not? You're gonna kill everyone anyway. Just break in on the fucking bottom.
That was another interesting moment where they were like explaining the difference between these two MIF agents, where it was like, he's gonna go on top, 0 casualties. We're just gonna come through the bottom and kill everyone. And it's like, all right,
But it's one
these
of those things
guys
where,
are
like,
evil.
why,
Yeah.
like if you know he's gonna do this, what's up, Cool G? Why do you let him do it? Like, why would you even bother letting him do the thing? You see a helicopter, it doesn't fucking matter. Tom Cruise breaks in, he's on the plexiglass thing, and he has a cool laser arm that cuts a hole in it, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, everything's LED. Everything is LED in this office.
Sorry, the drop down.
Oh, we got the drop down.
And his little like I don't even know what the fuck you call him. He's so cool.
The
way
aerobic
he moves
spins
is
that he
so
does
good.
are always so good.
I will give a shout out because this is obviously an homage to the first one because he drops in and goes and stops like I guess 15, like it was like 5 feet above the thing. It would have been cooler if it was like 1 foot, but it was pretty high above it.
It was dope. I enjoyed this quite a bit.
That was kind of cool. Let's see, where are we at here? Cool laser arm. He has to destroy Chimera not in one but 2 places, right?
Yeah.
There's the big vat of Chimera that we just need to
culture,
nuke.
right.
But then there's also 3 guns of Chimera that we have to get in the other room.
This reminded me
It's a mission.
Very
of
much a
Metal Gear
video game.
Solid.
Yeah.
When you have to do the fucking the temperature thing of like Metal Gear Solid 1, we have to go grab the thing, make sure it's hot, make sure it's cold. I'm like, oh, this is the part of the game that's not fun
Yeah.
anymore, and you're just trying to like pad it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like this is the exact same thing. I was like, he just needs more things to do to give them an excuse to take longer to get there and build the tension of Luther watching the fucking literal Metal Gear
Dots
radar of like them
Yeah.
getting
Oh my
close
God.
to each other. And they refer to it as yellow and red at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the yellow dot has to hit the red dot. And that's actually got a funny line. But then also, these vents, man, do they not only block out the sun, but they block out all radio communication as well? Because when the vents are closed, it's like, hey, man, we're going to lose radio communication.
minutes.
We got 8 minutes. We don't know what the hell's going on in this building. But Ethan does, because Ethan has no problem nuking the vat of the Chimera and then moves at a snail's pace through the room that has the 3 little vials of it. And then he stares at the thing. I'm like, just fucking nuke the things. Puts a little bomb down first, just in case anyone comes in behind him, and then stares at the things for an exceedingly long time.
reflects.
Meanwhile, everyone, there's a shootout. Let's see, where are we at? We're in the lab. Oh yeah, we're back to where the movie started, which is where the bad guy was. The saint guy shot himself in the arm. Everything's fucking slow-mo right now. Luther goes back to his van and then looks down into a reflection of a puddle underneath the van and sees a timer and goes, oh shit, I got 10 seconds to get out of this van, and then starts casually just taking things out of the van. The computer first unplugs it has little screwy things in the back of the fucking monitor output, and then he takes, should I take this thing with me too? I don't know. What else should I take? Oh shit, the van's gonna explode. It explodes and kind of hurts the computer. The one computer that can track Tandy. The one computer. They have the vast resources of the American government and they've got one. Just remember that.
It's
for later.
it's one computer for confidentiality.
No, I get it.
Privacy.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. One computer. The guys come in, they start shooting everyone, and they go and they blow up the fucking glass. And there's a shootout that is probably the lamest, most boring shootout I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just
I've never
boring.
seen somebody with 2 guns shooting them, being all badass, be less cool.
It's not cool.
But then he does the slide that I didn't realize was from this movie because I've never seen it, but I've seen it referenced a million times, where he slides on the floor with the 2 guns shooting. I was like, oh, that's what this is from.
Yeah.
But-
And you want it to be good, but
No, but it's not, though. It's not. Nothing about this is cool.
Andy, it reminded me of, if you remember, one of the last episodes of Breaking Bad, where Meth Damon is shooting, like they're in that big shootout, and he's like holding the gun, and he's like
In
really
a really
not
awkward
into it.
position.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Man, before we move on to how
Yeah.
this is going, let me tell you that this episode
Give it to
of
me.
In Review is brought to you by MeUndies. You probably spend about 90% of your life in underwear. That's true. For some of us, it's a little less, right, Nick?
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Heck yeah,
about.
doggy dog.
So don't you think you owe it to yourself to make sure you're wearing the softest undies in town? MeUndies uses the coveted micromodal fabric, which is a full 3 times softer than cotton. I exclusively wear MeUndies. I'm wearing them right now. I'm wearing a little Easter print. Might be a little early. It's okay. I like them
I've
bunnies.
got green
not too
camo on
early.
right now.
Green camo?
I like them a lot.
Men can now try the new boxer brief with fly, which is the same great cut as boxer briefs, but now with an added option for guys who prefer to go through the gate versus over the fence. MeUndies is also the go-to for the softest loungewear on the planet. Hang out in their super comfy lounge pants and onesies. Yes, MeUndies makes onesies. It's true. And they're incredible. MeUndies has a great offer for listeners. Any first-time purchasers, when you order MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping. This is a no-brainer. Get 15% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. To get your 50% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/
Morning.
Thank you, Kevin. And also, shout out to Hims. 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. The thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you lost. That's why you should be like Nick and Andy and go to forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, with Kev, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with the real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. These are well-known generic equivalents to brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. These are prescription solutions backed by science.
With Kev.
Andy and
With
Nick did it.
Hims.
They went online, talked to a doctor, sent in some photos, and got matched with the prescriptions to help fight their thinning hair. You can order now. Listeners will get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/KFMS. That's FORHIMS.com/KFMS. Back to the plot.
Is pinned down. And Sean Ambrose takes this opportunity to have some of the worst dialogue in the film. Just a bad guy, good guy off.
Which is saying something.
It's just fucking terrible, but it's revealed that the guy, they fucked up and the Saint guy had Chimera in his bloodstream because apparently that's the only way you can smuggle a virus onto a plane.
Not
Because-
the antidote. The antidote you can just smuggle, I guess.
Antidote, totally fine.
Yeah.
Another live culture, you assume the antidote, totally fine. But the fucking virus, man, the stewardesses are patting you fucking down before you got a virus on you? You got a virus on you?
Don't touch
You got a
me.
virus on you?
You feel squishier. You got a virus in you.
You got a virus. Hey, man, you're not looking so good right now. You got that weird old guy smell. You got a virus on you? So Ambrose, but guess what? I got an ace up my sleeve, man. I brought fucking Tandy Newton with me, and she's here, and I'm gonna send her out to fetch the virus. And if you don't give it to her, I'm blowing all you guys up. Everyone's getting blown up, right? Everyone's getting shot,
Blowing
right?
all you guys.
And then this is a weird bit. And then he refers to her he refers to all women as monkeys because they don't leave one branch until they have their hand on another branch. And then I wrote also, who hurt you, Ambrose?
Yeah.
Who hurt you? You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong? Like,
Tandy Newton.
I guess so, but you know,
She did him wrong and he's pissed off, but also he's a horrible dude.
He's
but
a
also
pretty bad
but
fucking
also
dude.
just a line that a lot of movies do where they're telling the person, do that thing, and then they're like, come on, you fucking idiot, do it. And then it's like, oh, they're creating tension, and it's like they're just letting the audience know that like, oh, he's a fucking asshole just for the supplanting.
He's a dick. We get that. But Nia, she's not going to take this shit, right? Tandy's like, I got to fucking do something in this movie. Like, we got to give, you can tell the writer was like, what could we got to give her something to fucking do in
Yeah.
this because otherwise she's just a set
Also,
piece now at this
why
point.
wouldn't, like, he was going to kill her afterwards, you got to assume, right?
Yeah. So she makes probably the only smart decision in this entire fucking movie and goes, hey, I'm going to inject myself with this because now I'm valuable. You can't kill me. I got 20 hours to live, basically. Although she doesn't know that. She doesn't really have any context for what's going on with this, but it doesn't matter. She said he calls her a bitch, and she says, yeah, guess what? This bitch is now worth 34 million pounds. Boom, motherfucker. Like, you can't do shit with me for 20 hours.
The
Then I'm going
only-
to bleed out of all my orifices and die.
The only badass line in the movie.
Yeah, it was a great line in the movie.
Hold
Ethan
on.
goes,
Sorry, we totally missed the line that I was talking about earlier. This is way back with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh God.
Where they say something to the He's like, I don't know if we can do that. And they're like, it's not called missions this. It's Mission Impossible.
Yeah, he's like, it's not called Mission Difficult. It's called
Yeah.
Mission.
Holy shit, they really just said that.
They did.
Ridiculous.
They did, just so you know why the title of the movie is what it is. But Ethan's like, shit, I can't get both of us out of here. I've only got one more bomb left. I have all these bombs. I had all these bombs, but I wasted them all. But I got one bomb left, and I've only got one exit strategy, and I can't get you out of here. So here's what you do. I got 19 hours. Sets his little cool watch. It goes, deet, deet, 19 hours and 20-some minutes or whatever. And he looks at her, and he says, just stay alive! I'm not gonna lose you! And it's really intense. And the music, and everyone's firing at each other, but no one's hitting anything.
music is
It's really
so
weird.
intense.
And he throws the bomb at the thing and does the video game thing where he shoots the bomb and it explodes the wall. And then he jumps out. And actually, kind of a cool scene.
It's kind of cool, but he jumps out and immediately like, what's his plan? But then you're like, oh, he has a parachute. Cool.
has a parachute.
But he goes, he flips, but then he flips again
flip
into the
was so
parachute.
unnecessary.
I'm like, why?
Lots of flipping. Because flipping's cool, guys, and it's hard to do. And if you can do it, you can be an action star too. At this point, you kind of wonder why he didn't immediately hit the ground and call the entire U.S. Army into this, because there's a fucking massive like biochemical weapon that's going to be released on millions of people in Australia. But he's like, you know what, guys, we got this. There's the two of us and the weird Australian guy we haven't seen for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We got this.
There were
right?
moments where I was like, where did he? Oh, yeah. I forgot he was here.
So, Luther has to fix this computer so they
ready
can
at
find
night.
Nia, but he's gonna figure it out probably just in the nick of time. So we're gonna, instead of calling all of the CIA and Anthony Hopkins back, you know what we do instead? We're gonna climb another rock. And we somehow found, I missed how they did this, but somehow he knows they're on this island?
Oh, they knew that from the beginning when they first had her, right?
Was it Sean Ambrose's island?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
So he
like,
gets
man,
it. So he
It
just
looked
said,
like it was near his house.
Who cares?
Fuck it, right?
Australia's
doesn't
small,
matter.
dude.
It doesn't matter.
Australia not a very big. It's actually the size of Fremont.
Also, they had Mad Eye Moody. Maybe at this point he's an informant. I don't know.
Sure. Maybe that's true. Maybe he was like, I was going to meet him there.
Doesn't
and
really
that's gonna be
matter.
the case.
Doesn't really matter.
Tell you what, man. Ethan climbs this rock face. Pretty easy. Because we know that the Biocyte guys are going to be there. That's where this deal is. I guess it was revealed earlier. But then a guy goes, hey, he's got a gun on him. And Ethan is like, there's only one way to disarm this guy. And it's with a spinning back kickflip.
It's real cool.
Yeah.
And it works.
Real cool.
And it
Real
works.
cool.
I haven't learned that move yet in jiu-jitsu. So one day I hope to get to that level of black beltness. But guess what? Mad Eye Moody is there with Sean. And they have the cure and the virus, and there's pigeons. I wrote there's a lot of pigeons.
so many
fucking
pigeons.
Now you would think that Mad Eye Moody would have been like told him like, hey, like these guys are onto you, but I guess it doesn't fucking matter at this point. Let's see. Oh, Ambrose makes the call, and then Nia's been dropped off in the middle of Sydney. There's 3 million people in Sydney and 7 million people in Australia, and they're all going to need valerian, and no one on the planet is going to suspect a thing because this plague will just be dropped, and you're going to be the only person that has the cure. And in order for me to sell you this cure, Mad Eye Moody, Sean wants to borrow the $34 million that you were going to pay him for the cure, and then buy stock in the guy's company, so he'll own 51% of Biocyte. And that seems like a solid plan, except, again,
Hostile
the entire
takeover.
American government and probably the British government at this point know that this guy is the bad guy behind all this. So this plan pretty much null and void because I don't think you can buy stock at a company with ill-gotten gains. Doesn't matter.
All that I thought was very bizarre, like so complex. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna whatever the last thing you said was, I'll just trust you that
Sure.
that makes sense. But the plan with Tandy Newton was like, okay,
So he was going to release the virus and then create a supply and demand thing.
okay, so
yeah, he was just
everyone in
putting her out
Australia
there
was
was
gonna
not
get-
releasing the virus.
No.
that-
Why drop her in
Wait,
the middle
what?
of
No,
Sydney,
that was
right?
releasing
It was.
Yeah.
He said, I put her out there. Here's my new plan. My new plan, put her in Australia. She's going to go nuclear in the middle of fucking Sydney.
She was going to kill herself.
Well,
He didn't know that.
He didn't know that. But Ethan knows that. Ethan realizes once.
But I mean, like, why didn't he know that?
Listen, man.
Why would he know that she
Sean
knew
Ambrose?
anything about this thing?
Love works in mysterious ways.
Why?
She
Would,
didn't-
she obviously knew that he injected herself.
You're
Like,
right. You're right. That
she
does
knows.
make sense. Pretty
I
sure she has
think
to-
it's revealed that Ethan knows that. Like at some point, it's revealed that she's going to kill herself. Ethan like knows that she's not going to let this happen.
Ethan says it to his crew.
Right.
She's like, if we don't get this fixed, she's gonna take care of it.
She'll
and
take
then
care of
someone's
it.
like, wait, what? And it's like, oh, off a cliff.
Right.
And they're like,
she's going to jump off a cliff.
Is that
Cool,
the
just let her
best
do
way? Because like, I feel like someone's gonna
Problem
pick up her
solved.
See, I
dead
mean-
body with infected blood in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
Into the ocean.
Probably not-
Sharks are
no,
going to eat
it'll-
it. Sharks are going to get
But we know
mutant.
about this. What we know about this virus is the second someone dies, the virus dies with them. Because the flu virus can't live on surfaces or in the air. It can't live in any of those things. It's specifically designed for Tandy.
Well, with the
Newton's
other
body.
dude, the plane like blew up and exploded.
Like in the Alps
Fire.
or something, so you feel like they can't. It doesn't matter. So this is the guy's grand plan, and he has one throwaway line where he's like, "How quickly can you synthesize a lot of this antidote? Because we're gonna need it. Because everyone in Australia pretty much is gonna die within the next 48 hours." So
And dude was like, quick.
I was like, "Dude, I can get a lot of it out, man. This is a fucking great plan.
Money.
No one's gonna know we're responsible for this at all. Totally great plan, right? We see a lot more birds and a lot of slow-mo kicks, and Ethan takes out some people, and then
In the just funnest ways.
for
Like
no
when
reason,
he walks in, drops to the top. No, he walks. Oh, dude walks in. He's hanging. He uses his
That's
leg.
the blonde guy.
oh, we're not
Oh,
there
is it
yet. We're not there yet.
some
No,
other
no,
No,
dude.
it's some other
Wow.
guy. Because he spins him with his body, comes down
as
and then
if he
punches
was gonna
him.
crack his neck, but he's
doesn't.
the good guy.
Yeah, he
So
doesn't.
It didn't do that, even though it should have.
So before that happens, though, and this is an important part of this action sequence. Ethan blows another. He has these bombs everywhere. He's known for a lot of things: staring at people, slow mo breakdance fighting, spinning
Bombs.
and staring and bombs. Blows a hole in the wall. Everyone's like, "What's going on?" And then Ethan walks by very slowly, just piercingly
Great scene.
gazing into the room
With the dove flying in.
and a dove. Now, my wife and I had a very long debate.
Just good symbolism.
She was like, "Is it a dove or is it a white pigeon?" And then we both reached the
That's what a
don't
dove
know.
is. That's what a dove is.
And then we reached the
Pigeon
conclusion.
out with Scarpino.
Is it a dove? Is it a white pigeon? Here's the conclusion we came to. Who gives a flying fuck?
Yeah.
No, isn't
That's
a
what we
dove a
said.
white pigeon?
Who the fuck? I guess, right?
I think
thought they were
so.
different species of bird.
I don't like
Kevin,
this.
get on the thing.
Pigeon Patrol's coming back.
Hugh goes, I got this guy, man. I got to prove my worth to you, even though you cut my fucking
His
finger
name
off.
was Hugh.
Yeah, that was his name, yeah. The
I had
blonde
no
guy.
idea until now, until this moment.
Do they
I
ever
wrote
say
Hugh.
it?
It's entirely possible I got that wrong. But you know how it just gets in your head? You're like, Valerian Hugh? Who gives a fuck? Hugh goes to find him, and Ethan finds him, and man, they slow-mo fight. And then Ethan pops a grenade and blows something up, and we don't know what happened. But it looks like Hugh got the better of him because he brings Ethan in, who's tied up and whose mouth can't move. And Sean's like,
his
Sean
jaw.
shoots him in the leg, but he can't spray. He's like, because I broke his jaw. But I'm pretty sure you can still scream and open your mouth if your jaw's broken, but it doesn't matter. We're all having a great time. We got him finally. Hugh gets his gun. Oh, this is a great line too, where Hugh's like, "You want to see me get my gun off? This is how I get my fucking gun off." And it's like a dick contest.
Yeah.
But fucking Sean's got the bigger gun, and man,
He shoots him in the knee.
shoots him.
That looked painful.
Oh, right. Here's what happened. So here's what happened. He's like, Hugh, I'm going to get my gun off right now. And he shoots Ethan and fucking just blows him away. All right. But then he looks down and he sees it. He's like, wait, what the fuck is that? Did he get his finger cut off by his boss too? Is that how his boss disciplines his employees?
See, it was important, dude.
That's really weird.
I like this reveal when he goes over and rips off the mask, and it's like, fuck, it wasn't him.
That was kind of cool.
Oh,
I remember
shit.
watching this first time being like, oh, fuck.
But it also makes
pretty
you,
cool.
it makes me wonder certainly of like, how does the mask stay on the lips?
Thinking way too hard. Thinking way too hard about this movie. Yeah, like how
Just
is
stop.
it? Was the lips? I mean,
His mouth was taped.
also here's the thing.
Maybe this mask had a sealed mouth. I don't know.
The most important thing is like, do you think he walked in there with a mask
With
of
a
his
Hugh
own
mask? Like,
face and a
that's-
Hugh mask? Later, we'll get more explanation on how these masks come to be. But
Oh, that's a really good point. Like, why
Yeah.
would he just have a Hugh mask? It doesn't matter.
and the him mask.
The other question I have for this scene is the way that the actors are positioned. Ethan Hunt's character, who we know is now Hugh, is standing well behind everyone, very well armed. There's 3 guys in this room. But instead of killing all of these guys and pretty much ending this right here,
Yeah.
he takes the antidote and just runs. Oh, we're gonna run. Let's run, right? Gets up top and goes, before I keep going, it's bright out here, guys. It's bright out
That's
here.
where the music hits too.
Thank God I've got these cool Matrix-style Oakley sunglasses to put on because I might get on a motorcycle. You never know when you're going to accidentally get on a motorcycle and go.
Out of nowhere, 2 guys on motorcycles.
Oh,
driving
motorcycles!
by.
Thank God I put these
What was
sunglasses
their
on.
plan, by the way? I'm gonna run him over. Like, why'd they come straight at him with a motorcycle?
Tim, they're
I
not
don't know.
thinking. They're just in the
Can you
moment.
imagine like just driving up and like just shooting him? Like you could just break your motorcycle. You don't have to run him over to impress your boss, Sean Ambrose.
Dude, I'm Sean Ambrose. So Ethan kick dance fights a bunch of people and then gets on one of the motorcycles, and this is where the motorcycle kata begins. We're seeing all sorts of crazy shit. Of course, motorcycle, the most defensive of mechanisms and vehicles that you can get in if you're in a shootout.
Armor everywhere.
Armor everywhere, very good for you, very fast moving and very, very
Well, they're
safe.
small, hard to shoot.
That's true. It's very true.
These aren't super well trained guys.
And you know what's funny about that? Sean Ambrose knows exactly what's going on because instead of getting in a car, he goes, only way to beat a motorcycle
Is be a motorcycle.
is be a motorcycle. He gets on his dope Triumph. They're all Triumphs, by the way. Shout out to Triumph Motorcycles.
Triumph's cool motorcycles.
Because they have, I guess, sponsored this. Oh, shit. The computer's up. We've got Naya. And by the way, we got to get her the cure or she's going to kill herself. That's where this is. She's on a cliff or some shit. And oh, shit. Ethan's got to hurry up. Ethan makes a cool smoke screen with his tire and kills an entire car. And then it kills another car. And so the only things left are just motorcycle versus motorcycle.
Him killing the car is cool because it's like it seems like very well placed bullets to like pinpoint the shit that's gonna make the car blow up. There's so many cool choreographed moments in this scene of like action where I'm like, this is fucking rad. But then there's so much of just like you said
Stupidity.
earlier, motorcycles revving forever,
Dude,
And ever.
I was laughing in tears
it's
because
laughable.
of how long the motorcycle sequence went on, where the only audio was only motorcycle engines back and
there's-
forth,
You
back
gotta
and
rev
forth,
them a
back
lot
and
to get
forth.
that much
And then
smoke
when
going.
they meet up and jump in midair and they fall
That was
down,
so bad.
My immediate thought was, where did they go? Like
The motorcycles?
the floor was right under them. No,
they were on a hill.
and they
towards
rolled
the
down.
beach.
Yeah, they
And they
rolled down
rolled
toward
towards the
bluff.
beach.
but their bodies, they didn't.
Yeah, there was no.
They should have like
Yeah.
done that instead of like.
I'll tell you
So
what, though. I'll
weird.
tell you what. All sorts of cool shit. He rides side saddle at some point too, which I
gets
thought was
off the
kind of cool.
motorcycle and
I was
just-
like, all right.
I'm like,
And then at one point,
yeah,
somebody
okay.
shoots back at the motorcycle. And the bullet hits the little windshield the motorcycle has, but doesn't hit the guy behind
Yeah,
it.
it cracks
just
the windshield.
Pops off, and then it creates like just a fucking death trap.
Bulletproof windows.
Yeah. And then, of course,
It
they
wasn't
get to the point
bulletproof,
where
it broke.
the only way to stop each other is to do exactly what Andy just said. Play chicken with each other and then hurl your body at the other person's body midair, just like Fast and Furious 6.
At this point, they both have guns.
They do have
They
guns.
could have been like, all right, he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Either one could
Just
have done
imagine
that.
Tom Cruise like revving and then like just slowing down, hitting the brakes. Dead.
They start fighting. They're on the fucking beach. They start fighting, and then Sean Ambrose is like, "I'm not gonna fight you fair. I'm gonna pull a fucking knife out, right?" And then Ethan gets the knife from him, and then Sean Ambrose goes, "Well, you can be a fucking bitch and fight me with that knife." And Ethan's like, "Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm not gonna use the knife. I'm gonna throw the knife away, and we're gonna slow-mo
Why?
fight." I don't know.
Because
apparently he realized he's still got like 20 hours left with Nia. Like Nia, she's still on the
He's
thing.
like, "Oh, well, I'm
He's
here
like, I
for
got
the-
plenty
I'm
of time.
here for
I'll
the
fuck
fun,
this dude
man."
up. Right? I'm trying to fuck
But
this
it
dude
wasn't
up for
like
days.
it was like, all right, well, he's gonna instantly win. The other guy was holding his own. He
But-
would have been way better off with the knife.
I do want to point out though that at some point during this fight scene, we do take a break to get a slow-mo shot of the waves.
That's true.
I don't want to point that out.
Yeah.
Because nothing builds tension more in an action-packed fight scene than just taking a little break.
Symbolism, dude.
Just take a little break.
It's
Let's
really,
watch some
really
waves crash against the
smart.
bluffs down
Vastness of the
below.
ocean.
Masterclass
Well, it did
in
last a fucking
filmmaking.
hour,
It's
man.
so
It was
long, this
such
fight.
Cool fight, like punching and flipping and stuff. It's like, oh, cool. But why is it so long?
It's so
I will.
long.
I will say that the shooting of the gun at the end when he shoots Ambrose and he kicks up the gun and he starts shooting, the sound effects of the gun shooting are terrible. It's the
Dude,
same
but the
sound
whole-
looped.
The kicking up the gun, so fucking cool.
Pretty cool.
But it's
That
so
was
cool
cool.
until they cut back to Sean Ambrose and he's just like clearly pointing the gun right at him and then fires at him and has enough time to re-aim his shot as Ethan's still falling to try to catch this gun and rolling over.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
So this-
and then we don't even see him get shot. It cuts away and it cuts back to him and there's a hole in him.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck
This
it.
movie has so many like particle effects scenes where it's
Yeah.
like that they're just like, we need something in the air because it'll be fucking cool.
John Woo
we
really likes
That's
slow-mo
why there's
and particle
pigeons.
effects.
You know what I mean? That's why there's sand. It's like that the slow mo with all the stuff around them. Like, all right, I guess it looks cool.
Oh, I also laugh so hard at the dudes in the truck that get hit by another truck.
That was really. We had seen that guy so many times.
and it zooms in and an explosion. I laughed
car-
so hard.
Explosion. Why did it explode?
Everything has to explode, guys. It does. It's not fun unless it's something is exploding in particles in slow mo. Guess what? Luther picks up Nia and the Australian guy's still alive, I guess. And he brings her to Ethan. As it's important though, Ethan tossed him the cure as he was kicking up the gun and flipping over. All this happened in the span of approximately 15 seconds, during which Ambrose could have just pumped him full of fucking lead and killed everyone. It doesn't matter.
Can't wait
and
to
then
be
in a weird thing,
Can't wait to be in part 3, mate.
in a weird
Not gonna be in
move,
part three.
Luther is the one that shoots her up. I'm an injector, don't worry. Tom, you fought this really hard. All I did really was fix a computer in this, but I'm going to go save your
It's not about the individual victories, man.
There's no I in Mission Impossible. No I in Mission Impossible.
There's
IMF.
several.
IMF.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Is there a lot?
Like way too many.
Is there a lot?
So then we get the final
Three at
scene,
least.
right?
Miss Hall's blood is clean. You were under very specific instructions to bring back a living sample. Where is he? I don't know. I guess Anthony Hopkins is disappointed because we didn't bring the CIA this fucking world-ending virus.
I don't know. This movie was so long, I fucking forgot what the
forgot
actual
what was
mission
going
was.
on.
That's how the government works, right?
Yep.
There's a super killing virus. Like we should probably have that
should have
saved
it, right?
somewhere, just in
Somewhere, I
case we
guess.
just super kill everyone.
Well, we've got the cure, so at least we have that. So, but guess
and
what?
the cure to the flu. No more flu in this world, right?
Yeah, we got the cure.
That's cool.
Guess what? There's her blood's clean. Everything's cool, man. That virus really
did
works
it.
very well. She's good. Let's let her go back out into public. It's great. What are you gonna do next? I'm going on vacation, but I'll make sure I'll let you know where I go. And he's like, and Anthony Hopkins reverses. He's like, well, if you did, it wouldn't be a vacation now, would it?
Anthony Hopkins.
And
That was
then,
kinda cool. That was a
They
cool
go
moment.
to the most crowded park in the history of the planet.
Not only is it the most crowded
People are
park,
juggling.
there was so many extras that you could tell that John Woo was just like, oh shit, I didn't expect you all to come. Cool. Just everybody get here. And I was gonna have just this group play catch, but no, there's gonna be 6 groups of little boys in a circle throwing a ball to each other. I'm like, I've never done that in my goddamn life. And you're trying to tell me that they're doing it around fucking fire jugglers? Did you see
had
how
a
many
shitty
fire
child.
jugglers
There was
were
a lot
in
of
this
jugglers.
shot?
So many
A lot of
activities.
jugglers.
Oh my God.
You
You
had a
just
shitty
saved the
childhood.
world, dude.
And
This
then
is super
the most
park.
offensive thing in this movie to me, we zoom out from the most crowded fucking park ever while Limp Bizkit starts playing. And
Yo.
the camera just goes away. And I'm just like,
No, it's Metallica.
Yeah, it's
oh,
Metallica.
well, this is the least cool shot ever. Like,
No song has ever been more out of place in a fucking movie ever.
I don't know that one.
No, but it's
Marvel
also
song.
Ever.
But it's also the
Captain
worst fade in from
Captain
this
Marvel.
sort of like Pixar-like, whimsical, beautiful. Like this is our outro music. Everything's at peace, and then. Hey, James Hetfield comes into your TV, into your living room.
punches you in the fucking face.
My
Here
God.
I go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mission Impossible
That's
2.
it.
Nick, you killed it with the plot.
I'm
really
going to tell
happy
you guys
with
this
it.
right
This
now.
is great. You're
doing
This
so
one
good.
was hard. Because when you have to pause it every once in a while, it makes the movie 3 times as long.
It's so
It
long.
was doing, you're doing fucking
And I
fantastic.
paused it just because I had to just get away
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
the situation.
oh, God.
I went to go take a shower in between it to cleanse myself of the first half.
Smart.
Still horrible.
Now it's time for Kevin's show that we like to call Villain Impossible.
Is there,
Is there a
song
theme
you guys
song?
have?
No, I didn't. I mean,
Yeah, no,
I'm
there is.
I'm kind of
There
pissed
is.
off that Ragu Bag of Vids doesn't exist anymore. So
It's gone now. Let it go.
Villains. Impossibles.
Welcome to Villain Impossible. I'm your host, Kevin Coelho, and this is Nick Scarpino, who is also on it.
Hello.
I think maybe Andy's
No,
on
no,
it.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no,
just tweeting from Ragu Bag of Vids. I'm pissed off.
Barrett vetoed that.
Who was the bad guy in
Sean
this?
Ambrose.
I mean, was he a better bad guy than the last bad guy?
I would actually put John Woo as the bad guy as well in this movie. Just the director. Because I
keep
think this is
notes
one long
on this.
troll for the audience. And when
Yeah.
it was just slow-mo porn. John Woo was just jacking off behind the camera and saying, oh, that's good slow-mo. Oh, that's good
It's
slow-mo.
bad slow-mo, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
I would say that Sean Ambrose just miles behind the bad guys
yeah.
in the
Jim,
first
what's
one.
his face?
What's the name of the bad guy from the first one?
Jim Phelps?
Phelps.
Okay.
Oh, all right, cool.
And,
Get fucked, loser.
so Jim Phelps and Krieger were the bad guys in the first one, I would say.
I put
Kittredge
Jesse
was
in
kind
there. I
of-
just no Kittredge. Kittredge was
Kittredge
an
was
asshole.
doing
He wasn't a bad
antagonist.
guy.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
I just put Jim Phelps and then Sean Ambrose. Okay, so that's how the list stands as of right now.
All right.
Wow.
Easy peasy.
Fantastic.
And that
Now
was
it's time
easy.
for Haiku in Review.
7 syllables in the middle. You'll need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review. Everybody, now stop.
Okay, for Haiku in Review, if you want to be part of the show, you go to patreon.com/kindafunny and write your review in haiku form. Just like Game Attacks, Sean Bolin did today. He has Motorcycle Joust. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's fucking go.
Oh, dude,
So-
let's fucking go.
Dude, let's fucking go. You're right. Thank you. I can't fuck up his
Yeah,
poetic
it's one
genius.
missed syllable right
Come
there.
on.
Let's go here with Jacek. Oh, wait, hold on. He actually phonetically spelled this out for me. Jacek Kukis, who says, it's not difficult. It's Mission Impossible. Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. That's a good one.
He also says, Ambrose is a creep. Cigar clips are now scary. Way too much touchy. Way too much touchy.
It's not a cigar
You're right.
clip though, right?
You're
It's
right.
a cigar cutter.
Matt Rohrbeck says, so much slow motion. Did it all for the nookie. It's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God,
man.
Ron Moore did write this.
That's unfortunate.
He's credited his story. You know, so much changes.
Blackjack says, throw the shades, you're caught. Chemistry between them. Hot. That's
Really?
simple. Why not?
I liked it.
Wow.
Sure.
I like the rhymes. Matt Bauer says, beginning is bad, but later it gets better. Whoa, Thandie Newton.
Tandy Newton.
I think it's all
Tandy.
still terrible.
And then final
I'm a
one,
big fan of this one.
Shane writes in, Mask Reveal 1, cool. Mask Reveal 2, it's still cool. 5th time, kill me now. Good job, guys. Those were your haiku in
That was
reviews.
great.
And now it's time for us to rank the Mission Impossible cinematic universe. Our current rankings are as follows. Mission Impossible 1, number 1,
How many Mission
we gonna
Impossibles
put
are
this?
there?
There are 6.
Can we put this at number 6?
Absolutely.
Can we
Yeah.
fucking put this dead at number
Absolutely.
6?
That's where it
Definitely can.
belongs.
Just like
and
we
it
did with
knows.
Spider-Man 3. We just know. We just fucking know.
Nothing's
mean-
beating this at being terrible.
We didn't do that with Too Fast and Furious, but we did that with the villain in Too Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
We put him at number 9 or
He was
8 or
bad.
whatever.
What was his name? I
forgot.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this movie?
It's bad. They're again good moments. But yeah, overall just nonsense, fucking crazy. I do love the first face reveal. I was like, they got me. But that was pretty much it. That was the only moment I really liked in this movie. And the rest of the movie, I was like, oh, they somehow made GoldenEye more boring and more confusing.
I don't think that I saw anything redeemable in this movie. Like I thought all of it was equally terrible, and it was just consistently bad all the way through.
Yeah.
This is one of, if not, like again, the tweet mentioned earlier, one of the worst movies we reviewed.
You can see.
Not the worst though.
It's close.
It's
It
man.
is
close.
so easily the worst, I think.
I don't know. Thor: The Dark World is fucking awful.
Yeah, but Thor: The Dark World at least makes sense and
makes
has some
sense.
fun
No, it
stuff that
doesn't.
happens, and it's got Natalie Portman and him, and they have chemistry.
Yeah.
No, they
Hiddleston.
don't.
Tom Hiddleston has
There's
a
good
lot
stuff
of
there,
Looks
man.
good in it. Like it's not a good movie, but like I would if I went back and watched that, I'd be like, all right, this movie is just 2 hours of slow-mo porn with people staring at each other. There's no fun in any of the action sequences. And it's sad too because you can tell where they were at with this. They were like, look, main criticism of Mission Impossible 1. Very convoluted, way too much plot.
way too thinking,
And
way
way
too much
too
thinking.
cerebral
Yeah.
of a movie. Like and it was hard. When I was a kid watching it, it was hard for me to track all of the things that were happening in Mission Impossible 1. I was like, okay, who's Kittredge? Why is Cutter? There's Krager. There's a lot of people named the same. Max is something. What's the knock list? I don't know. Let's just do away with all that.
16? That was too confusing for you?
I was fucking
I'm
so
29. It was
lazy.
too confusing.
I was so lazy.
It's so.
you guys are
just
crazy.
It was a
man.
lot, and it was very much like, again, like they were taking a lot of cues from like spy novel thrillers, and they wanted us to be dense and a little bit more, cerebral. This one they were like, let's throw it out the window. Let's get John Woo, who was fucking super hot at the time, and I think this killed his career, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much. Yeah.
They were like, let's get him. Let's have him fucking direct something cool and make it really like visually inspired, and it just unfortunately fell super flat.
Yeah, man. Does anyone have any argument that this is better than
No.
MI1?
There can't be.
No.
I don't. There can't be.
All right. Well, it's time to vote. Who thinks it's better than MI1?
You do?
Raise
Really?
your hand.
Better than MI1?
Sorry, worse. Yeah, you're right. I was like, oh, fuck. I said that wrong. I was
What?
like,
Yeah.
you guys, what are you doing?
Alyssa's
Yeah,
watching
I fucked that
live.
up.
Alyssa's watching live, and she gave me shit. She was like, "This movie was way worse than Thor: The Dark World," and I gave her shit back because I was like, "You didn't even watch the movie with me, so
but-
you wouldn't even know."
Also,
DJ
shouldn't
Kent
she
in
be
the chat
watching
says
kids right now?
Kat Denning was in 1, and she's fun to watch. So there it is.
Is she?
Yeah, she's silly.
She's in 2 as well.
Remember, she's like
Mew
Mew. She goes,
Oh,
Mew.
you're talking about Thor. I was like, she was in Mission Impossible. I'm like, yeah, dude, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
New
random
ranking
guy.
of Mission Impossible. Number 1, Mission Impossible. Number 6, Mission Impossible 2. Join us next week for Mission Impossible 3.
Is this where it
directed
starts
by-
getting good?
Yeah,
We'll see.
That's what I hear.
We'll see.
That's what I hear.
We'll see.
We'll see.
J.J.
I don't
Abrams.
remember this one at all.
I don't either.
We'll see.
It's going to be.
Until next time.
If you knew where I was, it wouldn't be a vacation.
Careful.
I knew where I was.